It's the Sumo Show, the podcast that discusses everything that's going on in Japanese Grand Sumo. Whether you've been steeped in sumo lore since the Heisei era, like me, Stan, or you're a dedicated fan that wants to get deeper into what's happening on and off the dohyo, like our friend Troy, or you're brand new to the world of sumo and you just want to learn what it's all about, no matter how much you know about the sport, Sumo Show has something for you. So let's throw some purifying salt into the ring, do a few big Shiko foot stomps, and see what's new on this week's episode of the Sumo Show. So konnichiwa, everyone. And Okaidi. Welcome back to my co-host, Troy.
Oh, hi.
Hey there.
Hey
Hi
there.
there.
How are you?
You're on your way. You're making it.
I'm making it. I'm there.
Yeah, I'm doing it. It's been a crazy old Basho.
It has been a crazy Basho. Would you say, looking back, one of the more, I don't want to say unusual, but eventful?
Well, certainly, I mean, it's been a combination of a bunch of our top guys underperforming and some surprising people overperforming.
Right.
And a few of the right on the edge guys, and we've had a few of them go bleh, and a few of them turn it up. So it's certainly been a very eventful. There's a lot of lines to follow on this.
A lot of broken hearts. At least one here.
Yeah. Well, we get to the end of the show. Yes, your heart is not going to be doing great.
No, it won't be. It won't be. But I in another timeline, I was on the Kimbozan. I was on the.
You're on the Kimbozan train.
Yeah, I was on that train, but not this one.
Yeah, well, I don't. No one was on the Kimbozan. I don't think anyone's put them on their thing.
No, surprise, huge surprise. I think to everybody.
Yes, I mean, seriously, let's talk about it. The last, he was in the top division most of last year, and he dropped out. He was down in Juryo in November. He just had 2 or 3 really bad tournaments in a row. I mean, really bad tournaments, and then he got to Juryo and turned it around, won the Juryo Yusho, and came back here full of spit and vinegar. And we'll see as we talk about what happened here. So we did not have our Tuesday show as planned because my internet had been out.
Outage, yeah.
Just no internet at all. So it didn't happen. So we've got although our headline here says days 11 to 13, we're really doing days 7 to 13. We're going for a whole week of quick coverage here.
Yeah.
So so we can have even quicker going through the days, looking at what's happening.
Let's hit the ground running.
But I did, you know what I did for myself? The notes I made were who our leaders were each day.
Okay, great.
So
great.
I've got that as our starting talking points. And we're going to have a little, much less talk about specific matches than we often do. But without the videos, we're having less of that anyway.
Yeah.
So the goal here is to get through a week of coverage and get everyone prepared because we're into the last week and the final weekend starts. Well, it's going on right now in Tokyo, and it's exciting. That's our spoiler for this. We get to day 13 and we don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
This final weekend is going to be an exciting weekend.
Indeed. All right. Well, let's dive in.
All right, let's go. Let's jump right on in. So I'm going to pull up my screen here. We're going to be looking again at the official Grand Sumo app and their Totakumi, their look of all the matches that happened for each day. We're going to start with day 7.
All right.
When we left at the end of the last show, and then last Friday, our leaders, we had 3 people tied for the lead with perfect 6-0 records going into the middle weekend. And they were Maegashira 3 Oho, Maegashira 5 Chiyoshoma, and Maegashira 14 Kimbozan, which was just crazy.
Yeah.
Right? The only three undefeated people are at best Maegashira 3. No one from the Sanyaku. And we started this tournament talking about how our goal was to have everyone in the Sanyaku
Yeah.
on that leaderboard. And and in second place with only one loss, there are only 3 Rikishi with only one loss, and one of them was Ozeki Hoshoryu, and Maegashira 10 Tamawashi, and Maegashira 11 Takeru Fuji. So only one of the Sanyaku people managed to get just one loss in the first week. So that was a little disappointing.
It was, yeah.
But an exciting group here, right? Oho is a guy that has been talked about a lot, and he never has performed up to what people wanted. This tournament, here he is leading going into day 7. Chiyoshoma at Maegashira 5 is the highest he's ever been ranked. He's going undefeated through the first 6 days. It's crazy. And Kimbozan, as we just kind of talked about, bouncing back from a really dismal most of 2024 was pretty bad for him. The big ray of sunshine was that Juryo Yusho win in November, but now he's back, and everyone was little trepidatious about him. And he's a guy that it's always been said, and a lot of the sumo coaches would say that Kimbozan has the body and the basic skill to be a top level guy, but he hasn't figured out how to put it together. Well, first 6 days of the tournament, he seemed to be putting it together pretty good. But,
yeah.
He's ranked at Maegashira 14, so he's fighting the people in that area. So it's good to see him doing that, but let's not get crazy. Kotozakura is just having a miserable week. Now we started this tournament with Hoshoryu and Kotozakura, 2 of our Ozeki, being told that they could get promoted to Yokozuna if they did well enough. And Kotozakura has had a really, really bad week. I didn't make a note of what his record was. I think he was coming in here at 2-4, going into day 7. And it was bad enough that on day 7, he switched the color of his mawashi.
Oh.
Now, Kotozakura is known for wearing that kind of seafoam green mawashi, kind of bright, uplifting green color. And he switched to a basic black. It's the kind of I'm serious color.
Well, that kind of worked out for him then, yeah?
Well, we'll see. We'll see as the week develops. But clearly his first week was so bad that he did this. I mean, it's a performative, superstitious thing that Rikishi will do when they're doing well, or even when they're doing great, and maybe they get a big promotion. One of the things they do to celebrate is get a new mawashi color. And Kotozakura had that color, which was he always wore that green color. He was very well known for that.
Now, will he this basic black switching to that? Will he stay there? Is that his new color now?
It seemed. My guess on day 7 was that until he rights the ship, he's going to stay with that black.
I see. Okay.
But he could switch every day. There's nothing. There's no rules about that. They can wear whatever color they want. Usually, they will have 1 or 2 that they favor and they wear most often. In fact, most often they'll have a color they use this is their mawashi that they wear until it's time to change it for some reason. Like I said, sometimes good, sometimes bad, sometimes just their fan base bought them a new one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
There's nothing I'd say it's a very performative and superstitious kind of
But one that they can kind of control as
yeah.
they needed to and see. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
The other thing that happened going into day 7 is that Roga, remember Roga had missed the first 3 or 4 days, uh, because of an ankle injury, and he came back and just looked terrible.
Yeah.
Well, he decided he was out, so Roga uh, um, went back to Kyujo and is out for the rest of the tournament, which is probably good because it was clear his ankle wasn't healed enough. He wasn't going to win, right? He's Maegashira 5 or 7, I don't remember which, but or maybe even 9. But in any case, he was in a position where if he won a few matches, he'd drop down a bit. But going winless, he's very likely to drop down to Jurio. And
got you.
so that's why he came back, was to try and get a couple of wins. But and the fact that he only stayed 2 days tells you that he really shouldn't have even come back for those 2. He was in no shape to compete. So we talked about our leaderboard. So let's look and see how everyone did here on day 7. Mike Shura 14, King Bozan gets a win over Toki Hayate. So he's going to continue to go on. Maegashira 11, Takeru Fuji. Where we got him here? Takeru Fuji wins over Oshoma. So he's going to keep doing good. Maegashira 10, Tamawashi gets a win. Maegashira 5, Chiyoshima gets a win. Oh, he was facing Roga on day 7, so he got a win by default. He didn't even have to fight and continued to be undefeated.
Yeah.
Maegashira 13, Maegashira 3, Oho. Where are we going to find Oho? Oho had to fight Hoshodyu. Not so good for him.
Not so good for him, right?
And that's who Oho's fighting. So Hoshodyu wins that one. And so at the end of day 7, Oho drops down. We have 2 undefeated people remaining at 7-0, and that was Chiyoshima and Kinbozan. 2 unlikely people. It's the middle day 8, last Sunday.
I was particularly pleased with the Tobizaru whooping Shodai. Just as a quick mention,
That was good.
We're gonna skip day 8 and go right to day 9, right?
I can put up day. It is they can't play the video because they're smart. But Shodai, 2 and 5, not looking good there. Tobizaru 5 and 2. Day 8.
Nope.
Middle day. There were so many good fights. I really wish that we still had the capability
to show some
video.
Yeah. What were your favorites?
The problem is we're a week out and I don't remember them.
Right. No worries.
But on day 8, let's just switch this over to day 8, and so Chiyoshima, Kinbozan are our leaders. Hoshodyu, and now Oho is dropped down to be in second place, and Tamawashi and Takeru Fuji are tied for second place at 6 and 1. And Hakuoho, we're looking down here. You picked Hakuoho who's on your team or no?
I need a refresher.
He's looking pretty good. He's doing good there. He beat Nishikigi on day 8. Onokatsu, who I picked on my team, also won. What else do we have going on here? Takeru Fuji gets another win against Kita Nowaka. Kita Nowaka in this fight falls off the dohyo at the end and lands really hard and has to be taken out in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
It wasn't during the match, but it was another one of those flying off the dohyo and landing bad.
Ugh.
And so that was a shame. But that was Kim Bozan's win there. Looking here, Mitaka Hiradomi beat Mitaka. Mitaka has looked so bad this tournament. If you've been watching Kintama Yama's videos, he's been making little notes about that. And around this time started saying, I think maybe he'll retire after this. And when he first typed that, I thought, oh, come on. But I'm watching him, and he really just doesn't seem to
He's just not into
even
it.
be there.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a match later on in the week where he kind of accidentally wound up getting a good tachi-ai and pushing the guy towards the edge of the ring, and then just kind of gave up. And the other guy pushed him back, and he lost. He didn't even look. He didn't have any emotion on his face. So he really does seem like he's done. Like,
yeah.
All of his injuries and such, I think, have added up, and he's. I think he's sticking around for something, either by putting in this time and getting more matches, it's going to increase his retirement fund, or he's waiting for some elder stock that he wants.
Interesting. Okay, I didn't really think about that, but that does make some sense. Like that's why he's going through the motions, because there's something on the outside he's waiting.
I mean, that's my take on it. There's something that's keeping him there, because given the way he's performing and the way he seems to be approaching it, I don't know why he's even showing up each day.
Yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. Okay.
So yeah, he lost to Hiradomi. Chiyoshima loses to Takada Fuji, not Takeru Fuji, Takada Fuji.
Takada Fuji,
the old guy.
The old guy, yeah.
And so, I mean, not really surprising. It was much more surprising that Chiyoshima was in that. It was 7-0 on day 8. So not super surprising that he loses, but this is the first kind of shakeup at the top. Oho losing on day 7, Chiyoshima losing on day 8. Kim Bozan, as we see here, he beats Tamawashi, which is going to knock him off the leaderboard.
Yeah.
And Kim Bozan's going to stay there undefeated.
I think we've seen all we need to see about day 8. I think we can.
What is it that you're so afraid of here on day 8? Uda beat Endo. That was an interesting match.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Abi beats Tobizaru. You don't like that. What do we got here? Takanosha. Oh, up at the very
monster.
top. Look
you
at that.
Monster.
Oh. Gomen Nasai, I'm so sorry.
Never been so mad in all my days.
Hoshoryu loses to Shodai.
To Shodai. What in the?
Who, as we said before, was 2-5 coming into day 7.
I just imagine that fat stack of money.
And he picked a huge stack of envelopes.
Just filled with ill-gotten gains.
Well, but it wasn't ill-gotten. He came out and he fought like the guy who made it to Ozeki.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He fought the way we keep hoping he will. And
why does he have to do it now?
You know why? Because he hates you.
That's right. He does. He's mad because I've been talking a lot of smack on him, But I get it. All right. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, I just was really. Yeah. When I saw Shodai kind of power up, and I was just like, oh, that's who came to play today. The other guy.
Yeah, but even that Hoshoryu still usually beats him, right? Hoshoryu just made a big mistake, if I remember, at the edge of the ring.
Yeah.
He tried to pull and flip him, and Hoshoryu was like a bull in a china shop.
Just a little move, just a little slip,
boom,
and off he went. Yeah.
So yes, that was the excitement at the end of day 8, heading into week 2. The leaderboard looked like this, and I wish I could throw it up on screen, but I can't. King Bozan is our sole leader at undefeated 8-0. He goes the whole first week without losing, and figuring that they're going to start bumping him up for upper level matches real soon. Chiyoshima drops down to be tied with Takeru Fuji at 7-1. Because Hoshoryu loses, he drops into 3rd place.
Yeah.
Which brings both Daisho back into the mix, because he was down there in 3rd place hanging out. So we had Kimbozan in 1st, Chiyoshima and Takeru Fuji in 2nd, Hoshoryu, Daisho, Oho, and Tamawashi are tied for 3rd. Coming into day 9. Kitanoaka does in fact go Kyujo because of a fractured ankle.
Broke his leg.
He fractured his ankle. So that's really bad news for him. Because we know you can't rush that kind of healing. It's a fracture.
Yeah.
So very, very bad for him. And we can just hope that he does heal quickly and make a full comeback. So let's go to the day 9 look here and see, as we look up here, that Onokatsu wins again. Kitanoaka there, he came out against Nishikigi. Kinbozan beats Takeru Fuji. They go head to head. So Kinbozan gonna stay undefeated, and Takeru Fuji's gonna drop out of 2nd place.
How exciting, though! I mean,
it was a very exciting match.
Yeah.
Hakuo Hope beat Meisei. The Mitake Umi phoned it in against Midori Fuji. That was the one. I remember that distinctly. Mitake Umi got a good start, and he's so much bigger than Midori Fuji, right? And he pushed him all the way back, and Midori Fuji just turned it around. Didn't just flip him like he usually does. Turned it around and drove Mitake Umi backwards and out.
Yeah.
So that was where I looked at it and said, "Oh yeah, no, his heart is not in it at all."
Yeah. No, he was. Yeah. Absolutely.
Tamawashi, who's in 3rd place right now, having dropped out of 2nd place, loses again. He loses to Endo, so he's going to drop off the leaderboard entirely. Takayasu beats Takada Fuji. That was an interesting little match. Oho beats Atami Fuji. Atami Fuji is having a terrible, terrible tournament. I don't know what's wrong with him.
Yeah, he's not in it.
Bad. He looks like his mind is elsewhere. It's not like he's not trying. I mean, we're not the same level that we're talking about with Takeumi, but he doesn't seem to have a plan, or his plan sometimes just seems to be just go.
Yeah.
If he doesn't wrap the guy up on the Tachi-ai, then he's just getting alley-ooped. But yeah, loses to Oho. Wakataka Kage doing good, beat Takanosho that day. Kirishima, who started 0-3, if you will remember, here on day 9, he beats Abi, which means that he's won 6 in a row. So he's now 6-3 at the end of day 9. So Kirishima definitely turned it around. We're looking here. Hoshoryu loses again.
Loses a
2nd time.
Yeah, I meant to dig into the past bouts between Hiradoumi and Hoshoryu, but I didn't.
Hoshoryu usually beats him.
Yeah,
and in fact, I think he'd never lost to him.
I'm imagining that was what I was fearing.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that really was like a mental error on Hoshoryu kind of problem there. And so here we go. Now Hoshodyu will have 3 losses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or yeah.
Those. Yeah.
And so it seems really so he's trying for this Yokozuna promotion, which he needs to win the tournament to get.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't win last tournament. He just had a very strong runner up, and the Sumo Association said he did so well that we'll count it as the same as a win, but he's got to win this time to get the Yokozuna promotion. And so dropping to 3 losses and dropping off the leaderboard entirely going into day 10 seems to put the kibosh on his hopes
for promotion. Yeah.
Promotion.
Yeah.
Which means that we enter the tournament with 2 possible Yokozuna promotions. We entered the tournament with 1 Yokozuna and 2 possible Yokozuna promotions. The Yokozuna has now retired.
Yeah.
And the 2 guys who have a possibility of promotion have both off the leaderboard by day 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that doesn't look good. Uda beats Kotozakura. Kotozakura is just looking terrible. I don't know what's up with him. Right? He came in with that possibility for promotion, and just it's got to be something physical. This can't just be. Although he does seem to be just making stupid mistakes, but they certainly could be something that's driven by one of those nagging injuries that aren't visible. Right? It's not like a limp, or it could be a twinge somewhere, or a weakness somewhere.
So kind of pulled something.
Yeah. No one has said, I haven't read any coverage of what it would be, but it sure does seem like it must be something physical.
He had if my notes are correct, he was taped up, right?
Not so much. I mean, kind of normal amount.
Okay, so yeah. So I wrote down tape. So
I wrote down tape.
I wrote down tape with a question mark. So I'm not sure if.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the aches and pains and things that he tapes up. He didn't have an incredible amount of tape. I didn't notice that it was tape that he didn't usually have. It's possible, but not so much that anyone's talking about it.
Right.
Yeah. So that means at the end of day 9, going into day 10, the leaderboard is number 1, Kimbozan at 9-0. Number 2, Chiyoshoma at 8-1 alone. And in third place, Oho and Takeda Fuji.
Yeah.
That our highest ranked person in the top three positions is M3 Oho, is Maegashira 3 Oho.
And then not to mention that this is also on this day, Shodai shows up again.
Oh, Shodai has that. I don't know if it was that win over Hoshodyu or what, but Shodai has decided he's here to play.
So yeah, definitely huffing fumes from his win.
He beat Gonoyama and he beat him good.
Yeah, no, absolutely did.
So on day 10, let's say we've got a much shorter leaderboard with none of our top names on
None of them. Yeah.
And we look here, we see I'm just looking quickly. Hakuoho loses again. Takeda Fuji beats Ichi Yamamoto. He's still on the board. Shodai beats Mitagumi, which is, of course, no big deal at this point. Oho wins. Endo beats Atami Fuji in another one that just Atami Fuji looked like he was sleepwalking. Chiyoshima loses to Kirishima, who has continued to go on a hot streak. This is now his 7th win in a row. He's going to go to 7-3. And who else have we got here? Kimbojan gets bumped all the way up to fighting Abi. He goes from fighting the guys down there to fighting a Komusubi. Boop! Leapfrogs the entire middle and upper Maegashira because he's undefeated and he's the only undefeated, and they don't want him to, kind of get in a position where he can luckily walk away with it. Too many of our top guys are out there, right? The thing we look for, the reason we want the top guys to be among the leaders is that they know what it takes, and we can count on them to be good down the stretch. And all these guys like Kinbozan, Chiyoshima, Oho, certainly Oho, 3 of the 4 guys on the leaderboard have never won a Yusho.
Yeah,
and never even been close.
Yeah.
Right. Takeru Fuji has won 1 and then was injured and fell all the way. He's still on the comeback trail from injury. So again, they want to bump him up quickly to fighting the top level guys because they don't want him to be able to win going backwards because the top level guys are having bad tournaments. So they bump him up to fight Abi, and he wins. And he loses. Sorry, and he loses.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Abi does what he's supposed to do, and
Abi
gives him a loss.
Yeah, gives him a loss.
However, Chiyoshima also loses, so that means that Kinbozan is going to remain in the lead by himself, but the people immediately behind him are going to start creeping up.
I thought Abi pulled a Henka, but I guess not.
Not that match. He did that on another match. I don't think so.
It looked like it to me, but then my untrained eye.
Again, we're talking about day 10.
We're trying to remember. Yeah. Our memories.
I didn't do enough prep for this.
No worries.
Yes, we got here. Hoshoryu beats Daisho to get back in a winning way. Kotozakuro wins. Yay. Yeah. So we wind up at the end of day 10 with Kinbozan at 9-1, still our sole leader. At 8-2, we've got Oho and Chiyoshima and Takeru Fuji.
I will say I did write down on day 10. I was pretty pleased that the Wakas won.
Yes, well, I think that might be the last time this tournament has both of them won.
Can't even let me have a minute. Yeah, that's true. Bleak.
And then we start thinking about the third place people again. So our third place going into day 11 is Hoshoryu. So he's back. He's come back into the picture. Oh no, this is great. Our third places are Hoshoryu and Onosato and Kirishima. All 3, well, 2 Ozeki and a former Ozeki, Maegashira 1, who's a former Ozeki,
fighting for
all
third.
3 of which have won tournaments.
Right. Yeah.
So that's kind of what you want, right? Is to have them to re-enter the picture. But it's just so crazy that they have to re-enter the picture in third place on day 11.
Yeah, it is. Nobody.
None of them were on the leaderboard on day 10 or going into day 10. All of them were on the leaderboard going into day 11. So Hoshoryu 7-3. I guess kind of comes back into the question: can he win this tournament? If he wins the tournament, will he get the promotion? Now the Yokozuna's gone. Oh no, we don't worry about it. Don't think about that. Go straight ahead. So much to think about.
Yeah, lots to think about.
So on day 11, we'll scroll down here and have a look, and I guess fewer interesting things are happening at the bottom of the Bansuke. But Midori Fuji gets another win. Hiradomi gets another win. Mitakeumi loses to Ura. Oh, Mitakeumi. Shodai loses to Endo. Oho beats Onokatsu. Oh, that made me mad. Haku Oho beats Tobizaru. That was a fun fight. Kirishima beats Tamawashi for his 8th straight win. Takanosho beats Atami Fuji, who continues to look terrible.
2-9, yikes.
Takeru Fuji loses to Daisho.
Yeah.
That was he for some reason decided he didn't beat Daisho on the first pass off the Tachiai, and then got turned around a little, got moving a little backwards, then decided to step back and try and pull him down. The thing we always say you should never do.
Mm-hmm.
And he shouldn't have done it because Daisho just ran him off the dohyo.
Yeah.
It was a terrible, terrible decision. It was a bad tactical decision. And it cost him the match very quickly that he might have been able to turn around. Kotozakura gets a win against Wakataka Kage. Kimbozan beats Ono Sato.
Yeah.
Wow. So, yeah, that was Kimbozan came out really aggressive, really strong, and Ono Sato didn't seem to be ready for it. Which, I don't know. I guess you kind of think when you're at the top that people who are doing well they're not going to come and threaten you, right? They're going to be nervous about fighting you as an Ozeki.
Yeah.
Bozan didn't show, he wasn't nervous about anything. He came out, big Tachiai, big thrusting, and he really, he knocked Onosato off his feet at the beginning and then just drove him out. It was super fast and super
right
impressive.
Into the crowd. Yeah. Yeah.
It was a really good win.
Absolutely. You know, and also it's one of those moments too, that particular match, just I've remarked before, and it's not like I'm the only one making this observation, but when they get to the edge of the ring and they just kind of levitate, or they try to, just this moment of sort of, and then into the audience he went.
Yeah.
And some lucky attendee got to take him home.
Gets to take Ono Show home. He's young. You're gonna have to care for him for a long time.
Hey, if we have promised to pick up after him and walk them and feed them and all the good things, then you can.
Yeah. But I did not, particularly after Abi beat him. I thought, all right, well, the top level guys are going to do what they're going to do, and Kimbozan's going to. I thought, all right, he can pick up 1 or 2 wins. He's strong enough and he's doing good sumo, but he's not going to beat the top guys. Not with any regularity.
Like this. Yeah, right.
And then he comes up and just knocks Onosato around, and I'm like, ooh, that's not. Well, I mean, it's exciting, but who could have predicted that?
None of us. Yeah, none of us.
And Hoshoryu takes Chiyoshima down. Of course.
Yeah.
Right? There was no mystery about that.
Yeah.
Again, that's the Hoshoryu we want to see, right? He comes back on leaderboard and immediately just it was like a 3/4 of a second match.
It really was. It was like just a quick class on how to get through it fast.
Bam.
Yeah.
Over. So going into day 12, we still have Kimbozan in the lead, 10-1.
Yeah.
and only Oho behind him at 9-2. And then Hoshoryu and Kirishima and Chiyoshima and Takeru Fuji.
I was gonna make the joke that that Endo put an endo to the Shodai whatever, but I was wrong. That joke would not have. Not only was it
Yeah,
not
well,
funny, but it was
Shodai decided he was going to keep fighting, as we
That's
found
right.
out on day 12.
Yeah. Yep.
So on day 12, Shodai beat Abi on day
That's right.
12. That was
Yeah.
he came out and said, "Yeah, I'm for real again."
Yeah, but Shodai at this point 6-6, and so whatever.
We're looking here. Nothing of interest happening. I mean, of interest to them, but nothing in the race. Takayumi loses to Koto Shoho.
That's true.
Tommy Fuji finally beats Takayasu. Looked really good in that fight. This is like the one fight he looked good in.
Yeah.
Tobizaru loses to Takanosho. Kirishima beats Oho. So that's gonna now drop Oho out of second place. So if at that point in the day, Kimbozan still hadn't fought, and if he won, he would then have an 11-1 with a buffer between him and his nearest competition, because Oho had lost and dropped out from below him. And so, very exciting coming up towards the end of the day. Kimbozan in the next to last, or the third to last match of the day, Hoshoryu beats him.
Does it? Yeah. I was pretty pleased.
We start talking about Hoshoryu and a possible Yokozuna promotion. Kotozakura loses to Takeru Fuji. And I don't know how that one happened. Again, it's whatever is wrong with Kotozakura, because Kotozakura had that match won. And then just let it slip away. I don't know. And Chiyoshima gets knocked even further down as Onosato takes him out. So going into day 13, which is today.
Yeah. Lucky 13.
Kimbozan's in the lead with because Hoshoryu beats Kimbozan's still in the lead, 10-2. At 9-3, we've got Hoshoryu and Kirishima still there. He's now 8 wins in a row, or 9 wins in a row. 9 wins in a row. Oho still hanging in there, and Takeru Fuji. So that's where we were going into today. Look at today's matches here, and just make sure there's nothing worth talking about here in the lower half. Not really. Oho beats Ura, so he's going to stay there.
Yeah,
in second place. Tobizaru beats Atami Fuji. That's a big, long match.
Yeah, it was.
Atami Fuji just couldn't find a way to do anything. Kirishima beats Takayasu to stay there. Shodai loses to Wakataka Kage.
Yeah.
Takeru Fuji beats Abi. I think it's when Abi tried to hank on this one, if I remember. And Takeru Fuji didn't fall for it.
Yeah, no, did not.
Chiyoshima is already out of the running. Wakamoto Haru loses again. Hoshoryu beats Onosato.
That was a boy. Match. Yeah, that's a good one.
That was Onosato drove him forward, and Hoshoryu made one of his nice kind of grappling, twisting moves. It looked like Onosato maybe had the advantage, and Hoshoryu. I think Onosato just needs to get matured up a little. I don't know about that. That's my boy. He should have lost that match. He's Hoshoryu again. to my mind, he is a 10 or 11 win Ozeki.
Yeah. Yeah.
And uh, it, going forward, I think Onosato is going to win most of the matches that look like that. That he's not going to get himself into a position. He deeply overstepped with his right foot and had himself off balance. And Hoshoryu, not a lot of people could take advantage of it the way he did. But
Yeah.
Hoshoryu very quickly saw it and turned and made the throw that he needed to make, and looked great doing it. I don't want to take that. I don't want to sound like I'm taking that away from him. But
Right.
if Onosato had been a little more measured, a little less gung ho in driving forward to trying to get that win, he probably would have won that match. And I
Yeah, it
think,
was right around the headlock time that I was like, nope.
yeah. And then Kinbozan beats Kotozakura.
Yeah, not yeah,
And again, he came out guns a-blazing
he did.
against the big guys and outpowered. Both his match with Kotozakura and Onosato, he just went in and said, I know you're big, I know you're powerful, and you know what? Damn it, I am too.
Right.
Usually that's a terrible idea to do that against an Ozeki, but it worked both times.
It was quick.
And Kinbozan stays our leader. So here we are going into the final weekend. 2 days left. We've got Kinbozan 11-2. And in second place we've got Hoshoryu
10-3, yeah.
and Kirishima and Oho and Takeru Fuji. So
Right.
we've still got 3 guys who have won tournaments before lurking right down there. And Oho. Now the thing is, and I'm going to start looking around at different places. We're going to switch the view here. We're going to what's called the Hoshitori view, which is like the Banzuke, but it's got everyone's records.
Yeah.
But when I pick people, hopefully, let's see. Let's go back and find Kinbozan. So we go here, and that's what he looks like and his stats and all. But he has faced Onosato. He's faced Hoshoryu. He fights Kirishima on day 14. He's faced Kotozakura. So he's fought all 3 Ozeki already. He's faced Abi. He hasn't faced Daisho. Daisho is the only I think the only Sanyaku level guy he hasn't fought yet. Kirishima's got to beat him.
Yeah.
First of all, for himself, like he wants to stay in the race, he's got to win. And if he beats him, then suddenly we've got a tie there. He's going to pull him back down to the earth. Which says to me that Kinbozan's going to win because I really, really want Kirishima to.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, look at this. Look, he beat Kotozakura, Onosato, Takeru Fuji. He's already beaten him. Tamawashi, Toki Hayate. And then, the first part of the week is when he was fighting down against the lower level guys, lower level ranked where he's ranked, where he should be fighting.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's taken some good scalps so far.
So far, he's it's pretty impressive, and I love it. Just out of nowhere, here he comes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's crazy. So we've got 2 days left, and Kinbozan fighting Kirishima, probably Daisho on day 15. So if he wins one of them, then he will at least be in a playoff, right? Because the people behind him can't pass him up, can't do that much better. If he wins one tournament, he'll wind up tied with anyone. He'll have 3 losses. So he just has to beat Kirishima or whoever his Sunday opponent is. So, like I
Yeah.
say, probably Daisho. That's a good position to be in.
Really good. I'm such a bummer at Tamafuji. I'm just.
Well, yeah, I agree. Very sorry that Itami Fuji is doing so badly.
Yeah, just not exuding that same fresh energy. That
So, I mean, if we look here, let's kind of just scan how everyone's doing
yeah,
at this point, right? Teruno Fuji 2-3 and out, retired. Kotozakura's 5-8. He's Makikochi. He came in. He came in with a possibility of a Yokozuna promotion, and he's going out Kadoban.
yeah,
He's going to be Kadoban next time, and no real explanation of why. I said in my write-up for today on the Facebook group that this is in a very bad way reminding me of Kirishima last year. He did the same thing. He came into January last year with the possibility of a Yokozuna promotion, and as we see now, is not even in Sanyaku anymore. He's Maegashira 1. And this is the first really good tournament he's had since 2023 for Kirishima. So I don't know what's going on with Kotozakura, but I hope that he's not going to have a year that is at all reflective of the kind of year Kirishima had last year.
Yeah.
Hoshoryu 10-3, right up there in leader. Onosato 8-5, so he got his Kachikoshi, but he's not having a great tournament. He's lost to too many. His 5 losses here, besides being too many, but he lost to Tobizaru and Abi and Oho and Kinbozan and Hoshoryu. And I don't know. Hoshoryu is the only person in that grouping that he should be losing to.
Right. Yeah.
Certainly not. The day one loss to Tobizaru was a big shocker. The Kinbozan loss was just, like I say, he looked like he didn't expect Kinbozan to put up a fight.
Right. He must, like he just wasn't quite tuned in to the reality.
And Onosato, Kotozakura is going to be Kadoban. Onosato is not going to be Kadoban. I'd really like to see him win out his last 2 matches and get up to 10 wins.
Yeah.
I think that would be good for the sport, but I think it'd be good for him to do that. Seeing as I think he was 8-7 last time, or 9-6. So I'd like to see him end on a high note. And Hoshoryu 10-3, looking good. Wakamoto Haru there 4-9.
Ouch.
He's dropping out of the Sanyaku. They're not gonna just unless he can get to the 6 wins. If he wins his last 2, they might only bump him down to Komusubi, maybe. But chances are pretty good that he's gonna get find himself in a Maegashira rank again.
What do we? Sorry to jump ahead, but just to Tamafuji doing so poorly, what do you think is going to happen to him?
At Maegashira 2, we're going to see him down around 11, 12.
Yeah,
I think. Again, I don't know. These last 2 days can mean a lot. That's why there's a lot of pressure on Senchuraku on the final day to get that last win.
Yeah.
It's just like the 7-7 people, even the people who are doing badly, one more win can have a big impact on how far they drop down.
Right.
So if he winds up going 5-10 instead of 13-12, right, maybe he could stay in Maegashira 9, Maegashira 10. But if he loses those last 2, I think he's going to find himself in the teens. Tobizaru. Look at all these people, these 7-6 and 6-7. These are the ones who are primed to maybe come to Stan's house on the final day.
That's right.
And particularly the 6-7s. Right? They have to win.
Yeah, I was gonna say a little cluster of desperation.
Then we got a bunch of them in a row: Takanosho, Tobizadu, Gonoyama, Shodai, Uda.
Yeah.
That even above them, like Abi and Wakataka Kage, they have to win on Saturday to avoid it.
Yeah.
Let's go down. Hiradomi. That whole east side is full of it.
Yeah, Endo. Yeah, yeah. They're
Endo.
having
Got Takayasu and Ichi Yamamoto on the plus side of it, but still there. Oshoma, Midori Fuji,
Takayumi.
Monokatsu, Nishikigi,
Look at
Shonan
that.
Nomi. I
Yeah.
should have made you say that one.
I refuse.
Yeah.
Shonanumi. No, I was close.
Hakuoho got his Kachikoshi there at 8 and 5.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
It's something, isn't it?
It is. Ooh.
Wee.
Woohoo! We're having fun. Yeah. So yeah, again, Kimbozan there at 11 and 2. His fight against Kirishima today, or Saturday, is going to be it's going to be a really big turning point. I mean, if he can beat Kirishima, then he's guaranteed to be at worst case in a playoff for the U show.
Yeah.
And Kirishima will drop out. Right? He will no longer have a shot at it. On the other hand, if Kirishima wins, then he and Kimbozan will be tied along with any of the other three who win: Hoshoryu, Oho, and Takeru Fuji. And then Sunday will all be about whoever wins is in the playoff, and whoever doesn't is out. So very exciting. This has been an exciting tournament all along, and
Absolutely.
we've got a very exciting final weekend lined up.
I'll tell you this particular Basho, what I've been doing is trying to pay attention to the mechanics of scheduling and that kind of stuff. I am nowhere near really grokking it.
Well, you can study it a long time and still be confused. It is an esoteric art.
Clearly, yeah. No, it's just something, but interesting nonetheless. And I'm certainly grabbing other insights and in to the intricacies of how just the construction of a bout and matches and the whole thing is quite fascinating. But it is it's definitely like you say, esoteric.
The other thing going on that we haven't talked about, because it's going on in Jurio. I know I sent you some messages about it.
Oh yes, right. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Our two Ukrainian Rikishi, Shishi, who had got up into top division and had a Makikoshi and went back down, has been having a great tournament down there.
Yeah,
and there's another Ukrainian Rikishi, Aonishiki, who got to the top, got into the Jurio division last in November. Was his first time. He'd been working his way up the lower ranks, and he's having a great tournament too.
Well, it's very rare that I get just because we focus so much on on the top division that I get that word of what's going on in Jurio kind of gets to me. And yeah, so how do you I know damn it, Anoshiki
Nishiki
Nishiki.
Yeah, you can elide the she into sh.
Aonishiki.
Yeah,
that's going to be a tough one. But yeah.
Well, remember you liked Aoyama so much, right? The Romanian. It's the same owl. It's the same word. It means blue.
It means blue.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. But yeah. Word even reached this simpleton. As I was.
Well, there's a lot. Again, one of the things we get as the Western sumo fans, whenever there's a European or a American, uh,
A
uh,
white guy.
yeah, it could even be a Latino guy, but there haven't really been many. But yes, anytime there's a white guy in there, we get the news and we follow it. It's always kind of a the hometown guy, right? We want more white guys fighting. Which,
Right. I mean, yeah.
yeah,
The
fair enough.
question is, yeah,
But
what we want and what we need are maybe two different things. But yeah.
right. But yeah, no, these two Ukrainian guys started coming up and having their heyday right around the time Ukraine is in the news a lot. So so they've had
Yeah.
a lot of attention over the last couple of years.
So it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, because Shishi took a little spin in the upper division and then dropped
Yeah,
back down.
he's another guy. He like Kim Bozan. He's a big guy who's got a lot of skill, and people expect him to do better than he has. They expect him to have a good run at the top division. And Kim Bozan, like we said last year, just had a really tough time about it. He seems to have figured it out
Yeah.
this time, and there's hope that Shishi will be a similar story. He's another very big guy with good grappling skills, and he looks good. Um, when you said he took a tumble, I thought you might have been talking about today's bout because he lost. He had been the leader down in Jurio, and he lost today, and it was a very good match, but it ended with him kind of getting turned around and literally spinning to the ground.
Oh,
So yeah, but he's one of the co-leaders. In fact, both of them are. Both of our Ukrainian guys. They had their first head-to-head match on Thursday, I think, and Shishi won. But yeah, two Ukrainian Rikshi fighting for the lead, and will probably both be in the top division in March.
interesting. Yeah, I would like to see that. I think that would be an interesting addition to the adventures.
Hey, Marvelous, glad you could make it.
Hey, Marv.
Marv and I were having a little chat in the Facebook group earlier today about Kim Bozan and where he's going, what's going on, and where he might get promoted to next time. So I guess that's a good segue to say to everyone out there, you should join our Facebook group because we have
you absolutely should.
conversations there.
Yeah, I mean, of course, after you have decided to follow and Watanage that bell so that you get to be among the first to hear when the show goes live, and over on the YouTubes, and then head over to Facebook and look for the Sumo Show. We are the only The Sumo Show. You will know us by our name.
You will know us by our name, and that name is
The Sumo Show.
Sumo Show.
Indeed, it is. Yeah, and so Stan posts practically daily, and there's a lot of great conversation, a lot of great people. The group continues to grow and flourish, and so yeah, once you dive in and have some fun, come over and maybe Stan said something, and you're just like, no way, Stan. You come over and
tell me why I'm wrong.
Challenge him. You'll probably be wrong, but
I like a good conversation.
Yeah, you do.
I like telling people why they're wrong, that I'm
wrong. Yeah, so come on over. It's fun. It's even my mother's in there. So heck.
So behave yourselves.
That's right. That's right. No more of these vaguely feminine women, potentially ladies, but probably not. What's that? We keep getting this group of very sexy ladies with similar names.
Right.
It's a crack up.
It's the sexy bots.
That's the sexy bots.
Sexy bots want to join our group.
I mean, if you're not a sexy bot, you can just be a sexy person. Come on over. You can only get more, sexy by hanging out with us.
By comparison, really.
By comparison.
We'll up your sexy quotient by
The
comparison.
juxtaposition. Yeah.
All right, so that's where things stand. Let's look at something else of interest.
I don't think so. I think we want to skip this one.
So we're going to come over here to look at
Fantasy
Oyakata game. And I'm so sorry that we didn't get to do it on Tuesday because this game is so much better when we look at incremental changes rather than big shifts. This one, we had a big shift. I don't know if you watched the Friday last time, you saw that Troy and I were down tied. You and I were tied in next to last place.
That's right. The mighty had fallen.
And this whole week there have been a whole bunch of shifts to get us to where we're at now. And all everyone's going to see is where we're at now.
Yeah, well.
You sound very resigned. So let's start with seeing what the best possible.
Sure.
Best possible is 48 points.
Okay.
And that's if you picked Hoshoryu, which you did.
I did.
And Daisho.
I did not.
Which no one did. No one picked Daisho. And Kirishima. And Tamawashi.
Yeah.
And Kinbozan.
Which nobody did.
Which no one did. No one picked Kinbozan.
Yeah.
Interestingly, Tamawashi, Kirishima, Daisho, and Hoshoryu are all people who have won Yusho in the past.
Okay.
So there you go. So we've got six people in there, and down at the bottom we have.
Who is it?
It's you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, more some less on this one.
30 points. Who knows?
Waka.
Hoshoryu's Waka's not helping you, and a Tommy Fuji. Look at that.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Just both those two.
And then you got Takata Fuji, which I think was your accidental pick.
That was my accidental pick. I meant Takara Fuji.
And Haku Oho. He's doing pretty good.
He's not doing so bad, but my midsection there is a little soft.
So sorry to tell you, Troy.
That's all right. All right.
So next above you, we have one of our two
Golden Boys. Okay.
Nacy. We have two Nasals who are in this. Who's 1 point ahead of you. Also Hoshoryu.
Hey, look who's here. It's Doomfache.
What?
Doomfache is in chat.
Doomfache. Haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah. When do we get back on YouTube? Well, we've been here for a bit. We should probably do some more promotion on that. But good to see you, friend. And that's great. So
you and Golden Boys had matching Hoshoryu, Wakamoto Haru, Atami Fuji.
Yeah.
And then he took Tamawashi, which was a good choice, much better than Takata Fuji.
Yeah.
But he took Midori Fuji, and your Haku Oho was nearly as good. So just edging you out. That race down there between you two.
The race from the bottom
entirely on what happens with Takata Fuji and Midori Fuji.
Yeah.
That's your final weekend battle. All right, above that we have Marvelous there, 33.
Nice.
Who has Onosato and Wakataka Kage. And there's Tommy Fuji again, dragging a lot of people down.
Look at that, boy. Tommy Fuji really did not deliver.
Also took Takata Fuji.
Yeah.
But clearly it was not a mistake because he also took Takeru Fuji.
Dang it. I wish I would have put Takata Fuji in. What was that?
So I think, I think, Troy, your goal should be to catch Marvelous.
Yes, Marv, I'm coming for you.
Above Marv, we have the other Nisel, Nisel.
We're sorry
The
for
big
butchering
boys
that. We just don't know. Yeah.
at 35. Onosato, Wakataka Kage, Tobizaru, which is better than Atami Fuji.
Mhm.
Kuranomi, which is not doing so good, and another Takeda Fuji.
Takeda Fuji's doing well.
And then we've got our two in the top. Now remember Kitten, who was our leader on
Yes,
Friday?
I do.
Kitten was also the leader on Tuesday. If
Okay.
we'd been here on Tuesday,
You would
to
have
see,
seen, yeah.
I had leapt up from our previous position to be one behind Kitten.
JJ, so glad that you found us again. And yeah, we should make sure you also join, if you're on Facebook, make sure you join the Facebook group too. That way you can keep track of us. I mean, Facebook hasn't decided to delete us yet. So.
So here we go. Number 2 and number 1. We know that the only two left are me and Kitten. And I jumped into the lead.
Upset. Kitten has been declawed.
I went from being one behind to one above Kitten. We both have
Wow.
Onosato. I've got Wakataka Kage. She's got Abi, but the same score.
Same score.
Kirishima and Shodai. It's the Shodai pick that's hurting Kitten.
Though, Shodai's showing up much bigger than I anticipated.
Yeah. We both picked Tamawashi, and she got Takeru Fuji and Onokatsu. So our race here kind of is describing you and Nisel's. Our race is about who does better, Shodai or Onokatsu.
Yeah, I'm with you, Marv. Oh, sorry, Stan. What were you saying?
Nothing. You know what? Nothing. It was between me and Kitten. Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting, though. That is exciting. Yeah.
That's where we stand here coming into the final weekend. 2 days to go, and our fantasy Oyakata game is. I don't think that the big boys is complete. They can't make it. They're not going to make up a 5-point deficit.
I do like how you and I are dueling. I want to not be in last place, and you want to stay in first place. Something very appropriate about that.
Yeah, well. Look. I mean, you've won once, and you finished second once. That's great.
Yeah, that's good.
That's great.
It's great.
And you know what? Last tournament, I was dead last. So
That's true. I'm just saying, the tides have turned, the worm has turned, the tides have shifted, or whatever.
I don't know, if you hadn't made the Takeda Fuji mistake, this would be very different. You would be again. So often, this Fantasy Oyakata game turns on the one guy you picked who's having a bad tournament.
One, vowel.
Yeah. That's right. You are losing by a vowel movement.
That is very true. Losing by a vowel movement. Ay.
Oh, man.
We'll make some t-shirts for everybody. So well, So you win some, you lose some.
So that's where things stand.
Thanks, JJ. JJ's been in my shoes.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm hoping to not be the worst. That's generally in life. I just don't want to be the worst.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the best worst.
It's kind of my position too. I didn't scroll over there while we're looking at it, but we talked about this last time. Everyone made bad picks on the U show except for the big boys. He picked Hoshoryu to win.
I thought I did too.
And you. Well, so did you. Sorry, no. You and actually both the Nisels picked Hoshoryu to win. So that could be your
Saving grace. Like
Yeah.
you
Well,
put me out of the last place.
unfortunately, Nisel also picked it. So,
Oh shoot! So it negates the whole thing. I'm
but
telling you.
but you could gain on Marvelous with that.
Okay, all right, Marvelous is between you and me, I guess. We shall see.
We shall indeed. Um, right. Well, I don't know what else to say except come to the Facebook group as
That's
we get
right.
ready for the final 2 days.
So good
2
to
more
see you,
days of
JJ.
big action,
Yeah, yeah.
and oh, I can't wait to see what happens. I'm so excited for today's match between Kirishima and uh, uh, yeah, I'm
Oh, what's
blanking.
his face?
Yeah,
Kimbo-san.
Kim Bozan.
Yeah, yeah. Me
Too
too.
many Kins in my life right now.
That's right. That's right. Well, let me pull these dumb drums out.
These dumb drums.
These
Look
dumb
at the
drums.
dumb drums. So we'll be back next Friday
That's right.
at our usual same time, same channel.
Yep. Thank you all for watching, and yeah, and again, make sure if Stan said something that just teed you off.
'Cause that happens a lot.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. But yeah.
I got a big mouth.
I just think you're just real good at this, and some of us are not.
You get too hard on yourself, man.
I know. It's all good, friends. All right, well, let me pull these. There we go.
You have been listening to The Sumo Show, a live podcast about the art and sport of sumo. Your hosts tonight have been Stan Brown and Troy Hewitt. Production by Troy Hewitt. Sumoliering by Stan Brown. And initial charge by Tachi Troy. So until next Friday, enjoy the show, enjoy the sumo, and we say to you, Ya matane.
Bye.